job, Lindsay. I love it. Do you feel like you love in a holy, holy way? Yeah. Yeah. And that is the theme for our month. So we're getting on board. We are in a holy, holy uprising. Does that sound scary or exciting? Yeah. Well, it's like, but we don't really know what's the uprising. I think we can feel it if we're honest. But we know it's holy, holy. And what we mean by that in a spiritual community like this is that we recognize the sacred in the mundane. We recognize the divine intelligence that is in the physician's hands, that is in the pill. If you have to take pills, it is in the mind, it is in our thoughts. And in that way, we are holy, holy in every way. And so it is Mother's Day. Do we have any mothers in here? And if you're at home, you raise your hand too. You can be like as crazy as you want to. Do we have any grandmothers? Any great-grandmothers? Okay. Do we have any pet mothers? Do we have any plant mothers? Well, there you go. Do we have any men in this room who have a divine aspect of them that is nurturing and loving and healing? Yes. John, you better raise your hand, that John behind the John. You know you do. So I want to invite us to just watch this video really quickly. It had a great impact on me, and I think that you can appreciate it. John, if you wouldn't mind queuing that up.
Just give me 1 second. Thank
Sure.
you. Sorry. Hey. Hi. 2 minutes. Thank you. Hi, good afternoon. Sorry about that.
Oi.
Hi, nice to
Hi.
meet you.
Nice to meet you as well. Have you ever done one of these interviews over the camera before?
No.
Well, let me tell you a little bit about the job to get started with. It's not just a job. It's sort of probably the most important job. The title that we have going right now is Director of Operations, but it's really kind of so much more than that. Responsibilities and requirements are really quite extensive. First category for the requirements would be mobility. This job requires that you must be able to work standing up most or really all of the time, constantly on your feet, constantly bending over, constantly exerting yourself, a high level of stamina.
Okay.
That's a lot.
For how many hours?
135 hours to unlimited hours a week. It's basically 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
I'm sure you'll have a chance from time to time to maybe just sit down here and there, yeah?
You mean like a break?
Yeah.
No, there are no breaks available.
Is that even legal?
Oh, yeah, of course, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So like no lunch.
You can have
or-
lunch, but only when the associate is done eating their lunch.
I think that's a little intense.
No.
No, not possible.
That's crazy.
Now, this position requires excellent negotiation and interpersonal skill. We're really looking for someone that might have a degree in medicine, in finance, and the culinary arts. You must be able to wear several hats. Associate needs constant attention. Sometimes they have to stay up with an associate throughout the night. Being able to work in a chaotic environment, if you had a life, we'd ask you to sort of give that life up. No vacations. In fact, Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's, and holidays, the workload is going to go up, and we demand that with a happy disposition.
That's almost cruel. That's almost a very, very sick, twisted joke.
But when there's time to sleep or...
Oh, no time to sleep.
Yeah, all-encompassing almost.
That's exactly right.
365 days a year?
Yes.
No, that's inhumane.
That's very insane.
The meaningful connections that you make and the feeling that you get from really helping your associate are immeasurable. Also, let's cover the salary. The position is going to pay absolutely nothing.
Excuse me?
No. Nobody's doing that for free.
Yeah,
You're
pro
crazy.
bono, completely for free.
No.
What if I told you there's someone that actually currently holds this position right now? Billions of people, actually.
Who?
Moms.
Yeah.
Yeah. Moms.
That's awesome.
And they meet every requirement, don't
wow.
Oh my God. Moms are the best.
Yeah, there's no pay. They're 24 hours. They're always there.
Now I'm thinking about my mom.
they? Yeah, and what are you thinking about her?
I'm thinking about all those nights and everything.
Thank you so much for everything you do. I know it doesn't seem like I appreciate all of it, but I definitely do.
So, Mom, I want to say thank you for everything that you've done. I love you very much. You've been there through thick and thin. My mom is just awesome. She's awesome.
Hey mothers, we wanted to put together a little something to show how much we all love you. Happy Mother's Day.
Thank you very much for everything that you do for me and my boys, for always being there when I need you. I love you very much. Happy Mother's Day to my best friend, my mom.
Right? We've been there, huh? Yeah. Our message this morning is a radical, oh, gosh, that made me choke up just thinking about my mom. Anyway, so it's a revolutionary love, And I had the insight recently during a meditation that women, the power that women hold within them to be strong and soft, to be nurturing and hold an expectation for their children or for others, that is what is going to heal our men. That was the meditation that I had. Not that one power is better than the other, but there's this bad rap that some men are getting right now, you know. And all I can say is that, I don't know about you, but this divine mother has nurtured and supported me and loved me, even in my darkest times. And I know that it is here to heal and support each one of us. And so a revolutionary love is the kind of love that surpasses any of our human experiences with our parents or with our mothers. You know, I don't know about men because I'm only female, but women, mothers and daughters have like this interesting dynamic. Did any of you agree with that or no? Yeah? Okay. And it's like, oh, you buck up against each other and it's just a strange thing. And for any of those of you who let me be clear here in saying Happy Mother's Day, and I recognize that divine power within every single man as well. So I do know that. But in this context, I think that this revolutionary love is transcendent of the human struggle, and it's also part of it. It's probably like a Joseph Campbell thing or something. So it says in James chapter 2, verse 26, "For as the body without the spirit is dead, faith without work is dead." We should not only pray, we should act. We should be in the act of compassion. So we can't always just pray that we feel peace. We also have to be the peace that we want to feel. Yes? We can't always pray that we find love and communion and companionship and support. We have to be a friend if we want to experience a friend. Yes? Yes. And so this revolutionary love comes from the idea of unconditional love. Do any of you love unconditionally, without condition, anybody in the world? Yes? One person? 2 people? 3? Okay. It can be really, really difficult to realize it, and it will heal you up more than anybody. I'll tell you that. Without condition. And so it reminds me that for this whole nation working together And in the experience that we all just had, where we really all got a chance to take a break. Maybe some more than others. I know I feel very called to, I think I've already said this before, what the Bishop T.D. Jakes said, he is like the Divine Mother throwing us all in our room and saying, you're all in timeout. I don't care who you are. The bishops and the pimps, all of them in between. You're all going into timeout for a minute, and you got to think about what you've done, or at least that's what it gave us a chance to do. I know for me it was healing. And so there was a few things that have happened and transcended from that point this past year that I wanted to share with you, and it has to do with revolutionary love. And the first one is so sweet. We have a practitioner. He goes by the name of Travis, which is his last name. And when nobody was here, he would come in and do his Wednesday meditations. And he was so concerned and so protective of his own health and safety because he has a mother who is very old. Well, I don't want to offend anybody if you're the same age, okay? But she very susceptible to, he just wanted to keep his mom safe. And so I want to read to you, I asked him if he wanted to speak with me this morning, and he said, you know what? I vowed to my mother I would never again go to her Southern Baptist church, or whatever kind it was, some sort of Baptist church. He goes, but you know what? This might be her last Mother's Day, so I'm going to go. And so he wrote me this. He said, Dear Reverend Nicole, my mother is Betty Travis. Going back to the mid-1930s, my mother used to love riding around her bicycle in Long Beach. I figured that getting a tandem bike this year during COVID was the perfect way to get her outside for some exercise and fresh air. And then he sent me a photo, and I'll put it on our Facebook page. He says, this photo was last late May, so that was about 2 months after we shut down, right? And he says, my nephew had the family out in front of the yard so that my mother and I could surprise her great-grandson by delivering his present by tandem bike. Blessings, Travis. And it reminds me of something that Ernest Holmes says. He says, this is what I was getting at, he says that if we as a nation, let's go like this, work together and pray together, that is great. A great moral and spiritual power, an actual soul force, will penetrate the whole world, helping to bring confidence and calm. Judgment. Confidence and calm judgment. I like that. And right action into the crisis that shall pass away. Freedom need never be ashamed of itself, nor liberty bow to despair. God is always on the side of right, and faith will always conquer fear. So faith without works is dead, which means that we pray and we treat and we move our feet. There is no point in us praying and hoping and wishing that something's going to happen. We have to live and act as if we know, like we know, within our body and our spirit and our mind and all of our being, that there is a universe that is good and it is for our good and it is conspiring for our good. And it's bringing that forth. And so the second experience I want to share with you is my own with my mother. Because I believe that the universe decided to, give us a little rumbling before we were able to reconcile. And what I also know is that my mother, one of her superpowers, I believe we all have superpowers. And one of hers is forgiveness. And so there was a point in my life, when I was in deep despair. And and my brother was taken by suicide, and I was drinking a lot for about 3 years. And my mother, she has always struggled with clinical depression, and she said I could share this with you because I think it's very important that we talk about mental health right now, because we are in a double pandemic, believe me. Or you don't have to, you can just look it up. We're in a double pandemic. Depression, anxiety, suicide, higher than ever. And so it was my mom's birthday, April 7th, and what we said to her at the table and what I honored her in, and I said, thank you for being alive. Thank you for having another birthday. I know it was hard because she has struggled with the desire to stay alive her whole life. And yet she has, for us. That's revolutionary love. She does the work every day, still to this day, to keep herself in such a way that she can be a support to us. And she committed to us when I had these children and she invited me to come to California. She said, I am here and I'm here to serve you and I'm going to help you in whatever you need. But if you don't get sober in the next day or two, you're out. And the kids are staying. Woo! And they were like, 4 and 6? And that was it. That I had put my family through something when I was using it as a numbing tool for my own pain of losing my brother. That was it. Must have been August 10th or 11th, because I've been sober for 10 years as of last August 11th or 12th. So it worked. But the courage to have lost a child and to be willing to lose another one, like out of your life forever, for the potential of them healing and getting healthy, wow, that is revolutionary love. That is unconditional love. And so it reminds me of this experience that I have with my own children, where I decided that it wasn't so much necessary to make an amends to them at that young of an age, as we do in the 12-step program, but to be a living amends. And so what I decided to do is I decided that I had heard enough of people saying, oh, aren't you so lucky you grew up in this philosophy? Because I am 4th generation. And I say, well, life still happens on life's terms. And one doesn't necessarily mean the other. But I decided at that moment, because she was willing to support me and hear my pain, that I was going to break the cycle. And so that doesn't mean that I don't hold a lot of stuff. It means that I have developed a revolutionary love within me that allows them to not be traumatized by inherited patterns from generation and generation and generation before. And so I wonder how many of us have issue with Mother's Day or have issue with our mother or our parents. And if we couldn't possibly, just for a moment, look at the patterns of behavior that they are representing and see, are they really theirs? I mean, maybe if you know your grandparents, you can see back to maybe how they became the way they are. I have been reading this book called What Happened to You? Because it's by Oprah and this amazing psychologist, and it's on trauma work. And what they say is, so many of us say, what is wrong with that person? Or what is wrong with you? But instead, it's more likely than not that something did happen to them. And so we might want to reframe that and say, what happened to you? That's revolutionary love. That's a holy, holy uprising in consciousness, in the evolution of our spirit, of our individual, of our collective. And it's a beautiful place to start from. What happened to you? Reverend Juanita would always tell me, you know, if you knew somebody's story, you would have more empathy and compassion for them. So I just assume that nowadays. This woman named Valerie Kaur, her book is called See No Stranger, a memoir and manifesto of revolutionary love. And she says, love, here, let me get it here. She says, love is more than a feeling. Love is a form of sweet labor. Fierce, bloody, imperfect, and life-giving. A choice we make over and over again. If love is sweet labor, love can, taught, given a choice we make over and over again, can be taught, given the choice, over and over again. If love is sweet labor, love can be taught to model itself and practice itself within us. This labor engages all our emotions. Joy is the gift of love. Grief is the gift and the price of love. Anger protects that which is loved. And when we think we have reached our limit, wonder is the act that returns us to love. I'm going to say this last part one more time. I really like it. This labor engages all our emotions. Joy is the gift of love. Grief is the price of love. Anger protects that which is loved. And when we think we have reached our limit, wonder is the act that returns us to love. And so I would advise you, if you desire to look into different faith traditions and philosophies, to maybe look up and study some of the Hindu practices of the Mother Divine. It's a beautiful experience where she creates chaos and disrupt and then reorder. It's beautiful. And I wanted to just say something about these two beings over here. I call them beings because I feel like they're my children. Well, they're not my children. I mean, they're my children, but I'm trying to be like the Khalil Gibran way about it, you know? Like they came through me, but they're not mine, all that stuff. But really, just ignore that. But see, you guys make me all frazzled. So we're sitting down in the living room, and this was revolutionary love, I'll tell you. And I didn't even realize that I had participated in the cultivation of it. And we're doing this thing called We're Not Really Strangers, just these little cards that get to know each other better. Sorry, guys. Should have asked you ahead of time. And Gabe starts talking about Christ consciousness, and Haley starts talking about her shadow side and how she knows that this friend that she has and whatever, and it's just all her own work she has to do. And I get up, and I'm walking to the kitchen to get some iced tea, and I'm like, am I sitting with Jesus and the Buddha or something? Like, am I, like, what? Whoa, it all just hit me. I was like, how profound are these beloveds? Because I have always, my intention, and I have always said that they are the sacred beings I get to be around. And we rumble, believe me, we rumble. That's part of it, though. That's part of them stepping into their own revolutionary love. And so I just want to invite us this week to find a place within ourselves, to find this unconditional love. I don't know if you want to practice the four immeasurables, or if you want the immeasurable loving kindness and just exude that to everyone. Rumi says, between the ideas of right doing and wrong doing, there's a field, I'll meet you there. When we can meet in that field, we can love without condition. And so I just wanted to invite us to think about that and to embrace that. No matter where we are, no matter who we are, no matter what sex or gender we have, no matter what we've pushed out of ourselves or not, whatever we are doing, let us be that healing force in this world. Yes? Okay. Say it louder so everybody knows that you're here. Yes. And so it is? Yes, and I invite you to come next Sunday. Anybody who would like to, we're available, open, and we are very safe.
I want to hug you.
Oh, you go ahead, buddy.
Hi, everyone. For those who don't know me, my name is John Partington, and I am the new chair of the Leadership Council. But today's a special day, it being Mother's Day, and Reverend Nicole, I just want to present these flowers on behalf of the Leadership Council and all the congregants and all those who love you. You're doing a fantastic job. I know you have a lot on your plate, but the best job you're doing is that of mother, being a mom to Gabe and to Haley, and we love you for that, and that's your number one priority, and you know what? You know that. So here's a little something for you. All right, happy Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day, everybody.